In the month of April, we are in a series called ASAP. We've been talking about the people who wanted to meet Jesus ASAP from Gospel of Luke, chapter 7. So today is the second part of the series. We're going to jump into the Luke chapter 7, verse 11 to 17. I'll read the passage for you. Here we go. Soon afterward, Jesus went to a town called Nain, and his disciples and a large crowd went along with them. As he approached the town gate, a dead person was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a large crowd from the town was with her. When the Lord saw her, his heart went out to her, and he said, "Don't cry." Then he went up and touched the bier they were carrying him on, and the bearers stood still. He said, "Young man, I say to you, get up." The dead man sat up and began to talk, and Jesus gave him back to his mother. They were all filled with awe and praised God. "A great prophet has appeared among us," they said. "God has come to help his people." This news about Jesus spread throughout Judea and the surrounding country. Recently, I saw kind of like funny at the same time, little mean meme or photo, whatever. And I'm gonna share that with you. It goes. It's not about that kid. Anyway, I think it's about the age who need to get married. Okay, not about that boy in the photo. So I think like late 20s, early 30s, or mid 30s, late 30s. Okay, when that person goes to the wedding, somebody else's wedding, this is what happens. Old people at weddings always poke me and say, "You're next." Okay, old people, "You are next." Okay, then this guy goes, "So I started doing the same thing to them at funerals." "And Mary, you're next." I know. So mean. You're not supposed to say this kind of thing at the funeral. Nobody's, well, if you don't want to see any of your relatives never again, I guess you can say that kind of thing to them, but no, never. Because, this is mean things to say. When you go to a funeral, I've been a pastor for like 18 years now, and I've been to a lot of funerals. All those funerals, they're experiencing loss of somebody they love. Though, sometimes people are really old. The deceased person was like almost 100, but still there is sadness, there is grief. So you never say these kind of things to the people who are experiencing that kind of loss, because we actually very often find ourselves in a situation in that kind of loss and need some sort of comfort. But if you look at today's story, similar thing happened. This is a widow. Okay, the funeral is happening. Funeral of a young boy, and he was one and only child of that widow. So this lady, the widow, she lost everything. She lost her husband. We don't really know when, but early. And now she's losing her one and only son, which basically means she lost everything. She lost her whole world. And now this story is happening. This story is full of sadness and grief and despair. But there's one turning point, that thing that turned the story just upside down, way around, which is the word compassion. The NIV version we just read didn't really render it in the English word compassion, but mostly this word is translated in compassion in English word. And the Greek word that is used for this, and I'm going to show you a Greek word, okay? It goes like this. Long, complicated Greek word. It goes, well, let me see if you can read it. I'll read it for you first, and you try to read it, okay? It goes, spleng. I practiced multiple times already, but I struggle. Splenghnizomai. Now it's your turn. Go! How come you do better than I do? I practiced this multiple times. You just heard the word, then you go like, splenghnizomai? Splenghnizomai? Okay, where does this word appear? It appears in New Testament 12 times. I'm not going to show you all 12 times because there's some parts it actually overlap. I'm going to read you a few of them. Let's go. Matthew 9:35, Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming good news of the kingdom and healing every disease and sickness. When he saw the crowds, these crowds are sick, crowds are not doing well, okay? He goes, he had a compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Matthew 14:13, when Jesus heard that what had happened, he withdrew by a boat privately to a solitary place. Hearing of this, the crowds followed him on foot from the towns. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, again, he had a compassion on them and healed their sick. Matthew 15:32, Jesus called his disciples to him and said, I have a compassion for these people. They have already been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat. I do not want to send them away hungry, or they may collapse on the way. And then he fed 4,000 here. Next. Matthew 18:26. At this, the servant fell on his knees before him. Be patient with me, he begged, and I will pay back everything. This verse is in the story where that Jesus is telling this story. This person, the servant, owes this master a large amount of money and he can't pay that back. And he's about to go to jail and about to die, okay? And so he's begging, please, give me just some more time. I'll pay back. But the servant's master took pity on him, canceled the debt, and let him go. Matthew 20:32, Jesus stopped and called them. What do you want me to do for you? He asked. Lord, they answered, we want our sight. These people are blind. Jesus had compassion on them and touched their heart, touched their eyes. Immediately, they received their sight and followed him. Mark chapter 1, verse 40 to 41. A man with a leprosy came to him and begged him on his knees, if you're willing, you can make me clean. And Jesus was indignant. He reached out his hand and touched the man. I am willing, he said, be clean. Immediately, the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. And we go to Luke chapter 10, verse 33. But a Samaritan, you know the story, right? As he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, you know, this Samaritan person has nothing to do with this guy who's robbed, okay, on the street. But there's a one word changed his heart and his behavior or his attitude toward that person. What is it? He took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine, and then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And we go to Luke chapter 15. When he came to his senses, this is a very famous story of prodigal son, okay? When he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. So he got up and went to his father. This guy is not worthy to come back to his father's house. But there's only one reason, one word changes the whole scene in a totally different way. It goes, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was, again, filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. We read some passages that has this word, splengiznomai, means compassion. You can see that there are people who are terribly just wounded or like broken physically, financially, in terms of relationship, but they can't really do anything about it. And then this word appears, splengiznomai, and the whole thing changed, turned around. So it actually means when the splengiznomai, when it comes, you are in a situation of helplessness. You can't really help yourself, right? So when that happens, Jesus comes in and he tries to, he has this splendid money on you. But we don't really want to show other people, even to Jesus, that we need help. Because when we show that to others, when we reveal our helplessness to other people, we feel weak, we feel shamed. Recently, I saw this interesting photo of like what is life, success in life, okay? It's in Korean, but I'm gonna translate this for you, so be patient, okay? It's coming. So it's just like this. Success in life, when you're in teens, okay, when you're a teenager, if you have a rich father, you're successful. In your 20, if you went to good school, if you go to good school, that's a success. In 30s, you have a good job, that's a success. In your 40, if you can buy somebody dinner for somebody or whatever, then that's success. In 50, if you have a children who do well in school, is success. In your 60, you still have a job, that's success. In 70, you're healthy, that's success. In 80, your wife still makes a meal for you, that's success. 90, somebody's calling you, that's a success. In 100, if you can get up in the morning, that's a success. Okay, that's a different standards for each decade or I don't know, time of your life. But you can see that in every part of your life, timeline of your life, what do you aim at? Success. You want to be successful. You want to show others that you are a success. But you don't want to show other people that you are not doing well. You don't want to show other people that you're helpless. You don't want to show other people that you need splenganismai. So you want to hide yourself. But deep inside of your heart, you know that you're broken. Deep inside of your heart, you know that you're not okay. Deep inside of your heart, you know that you need that splenganismai. Recently, I saw this interesting video online. There's a girl, I think from India, trying to go to college in States and gotta have this little interview or self-introduction video and her family and send it to the school as one of the application obligation. And I thought it was hilarious. So I'm gonna show you that. Is video ready? Okay, video coming.
Hi, my name is Rian Mudli. These are my parents. My student number is 1761029. So how do I start my day? Every day I wake up at 5 o'clock and... Stupid guys. I wake up at 5 o'clock and I go for a jog.
Hey, delete that thing.
Stop it, I'll edit it.
Oh.
And then I come back at 6 and at that time my parents wake up, so I make breakfast for everyone.
Restart.
No, it's okay. So I make breakfast for everyone. When I'm done with breakfast, that's when I take the clothes to... That's when I take the clothes and put it in the washing. At 8 o'clock, I start with my uni work and I try to do as much as possible so I can make lunch for everyone.
Now you're overdoing it. What your mother and father is doing then?
So, things are really tough at home because my dad recently lost his job.
Oh.
Okay, this girl is trying to impress those people in college that she's doing a great job at her family, but her mother and father know the truth. So how do I start my day? I get up and say, they know that's not true, right? But this girl trying to, again, impress those people, the judges, I don't know, in college that look at me, how I'm doing, which is lie. I know that's funny, but that's what we're doing too. We try to impress the world. We try to show the world that we're doing fine. I'm okay. No, no, no. Don't try to see the truth in me because I am doing fine. I don't want you to see what's really, really going on in me, what's broken in me, the helplessness in me. I don't want you to see that. That's what we all do. But Jesus has this power of compassion. And why do we even have to open up ourselves to Jesus, though we want to just hide ourselves? How is that even possible? Recently, I kind of learned the power of compassion from some church members from our church. Now, we have a more retired church members from their work in their like mid-60s or 70s. So what happened is those usually men, I think, they now stay home and spend more time with their wives. So they get nickname, which is 삼식이 in Korean. English, it means Mr. 3 meals a day. You know what it actually means? You used to go out early in the morning and come back home late. I didn't really have to cook for you 3 times a day. Now you stay here at home with me. I have to cook for you 3 meals a day. You Mr. 3 meals a day. So when I see them, as a pastor, I try to compliment them as much as possible. Hey, Mr. I don't know, Mr. Kim. I'll go with Mr. Kim. Mr. Kim, you look so fine. I mean, now you retire. You look better and better every day. You used to look better and all that better. Try to compliment the person, That's one of the jobs that I have. And that's what I do usually at the lobby with you guys. Oh, you look great. Anyway, and I say the same thing to the husband, retired person again, whenever I bring that up. But the wife goes, no, Pastor Sonny, no. He used to look better. He used to be stronger. He used to be more handsome. Now he's ugly. Now he smells bad. Now he's weak. Now he's got all these wrinkles. Now I see all those parts even more because he stays home. I make 3 meals a day for this guy. She's just this lady. Well, wives always just try to block away my compliments. So she goes, not in my face. I'm all like, oh, really? But the next thing she says all kind of like changed my mind. And then she goes, you know what, Pastor Sonny? He's uglier now. He's got all this hair coming out from everywhere in his body. He got all these wrinkles. And now I see more of that nowadays. But I still live with him. I still make 3 meals a day for him. Because without me, this guy can't do anything. When I heard that first time, I thought it was more of a like, oh, she's like self-complimenting. But later I realized this is the power of compassion. You know how compassion works? Usually love, when you're dating, before you're getting married, love is more about like conditional part. I love this person because he's handsome, or she's beautiful, rich. He has this competence. That's why I love this guy. That's why I love her. But when love turns toward compassion, it goes to the opposite. The worse you become, compassion gets bigger. You probably experienced it when you see somebody who needs help and charity. The worst situation the person's in, you feel that your compassionate heart got bigger. Compassion works opposite way than conditional love. So what happened is Jesus saying, I have a compassion for you. And you go like, I don't want to show you that I'm not qualified. I don't want to show you that the weak side of me. Then Jesus goes, but the thing is, the worse you become, my love for you gets greater. That's how compassion works. So you can come to me just as you are. not as you should be. The very first movie that I saw in the theater, as far as I can remember, was, I don't know, what was the very first movie you actually saw in the theater? I don't know. Mr. Larry, you don't remember? Way too back? You do remember, but you don't want to share that with me. Was it Star Wars? No? Indiana Jones? The way back? Snow White, 1950s? Mr. Perry! What was the first movie you ever saw? I don't even know what that is, but that sounds old already. Okay. Thank you for sharing the info. The very first movie that I saw at the theater was E.T. Oh, okay. I still clearly remember that scene. I mean, the movie, the smell of the theater. Anyway, it was great. But now I'm in my mid-40s. I've been thinking of that movie even more and more. I've been like reflecting, I've been like meditating even on that movie. You know why? Because in that movie, there's main character, which is an alien. He came to the earth, I think, by accident. And he looked like this. The reason why I've been pondering and thinking about this movie more and more lately is that I sense that my body has been becoming more like that. Unfortunately, I have to admit it. I'm not there yet, but I'm on that way. The thing is, I realize that my head is getting bigger and bigger. Since I've been sitting on the desk, working on the computer and more, my neck has been getting longer and longer, and my index finger is getting longer and longer too. And as a skinny guy, you don't really stay skinny all the time. Some other parts of your body getting bigger. So my belly, I don't want to show that to you, but it's been getting bigger. My legs are getting shorter. So I realized that from the very first movie that I saw in the theater, the main character of it, E.T., the alien who came to the earth by accident, I've been becoming more like that. I'm not there yet, on my way to there. But the moving part about this movie is the children at the family, the house, love that alien, okay, E.T. There's Drew Barrymore kissing E.T. Can you show me that? Isn't that amazing? The reason why I think more about this movie is that though I look more like E.T. day by day, my wife still loves me like that little daughter of the house, Drew Barrymore. Isn't it amazing? Those two little children, usually when you want a pet, you want a pet that looks really cute, right? But in any way, that E.T. doesn't look cute at all. But those little children love E.T. When my daughters became old enough, like, I don't know, like 5 and 7, they one day came to me and asked this question, Father, Daddy, what is grace? I'm like, this is a great opportunity for me to teach grace to my daughter. Finally, the moment is here, because this is the most important part of our lives as a Christian, right? So I was like, wow, the moment is here. How can I explain the concept of grace to my little daughter as well? So I said, okay, this is what grace is. Grace is there's a person who's not worthy, who's broken, who's ugly, who's awful, who's not qualified. But you still love that person, and you try to live with that person. You try to just go on with that person. That's called grace. And my girls were like, oh, really? And they went pondering a little bit. And then they said, are you saying that grace is mom living with you? Deep inside of my heart, I wanted to say, no! But even deeper part of my heart, I was saying, yes. But that's what compassion means. You realize, you admit that, Jesus, I'm broken. Jesus, I'm sad. Jesus, I'm terrified. Jesus, I don't really know what to do. Jesus, I am experiencing this great loss of my heart. I can't share this with anybody because I don't want to show my weakness to anybody, even my family, even my friends, even my spouse. But I know that the more broken I am, your compassionate heart for me is even greater. So I come to you. How can we believe that? There's a show called Oprah, and years ago, there's a very interesting lady came out in the show, and she taught about very interesting thing about little babies. When babies cry, this lady was became successful at translating babies crying. Isn't it amazing? So if you have younger babies, try this, okay? So can you show us the video, please?
Okay, the first word is ne,
Ne.
and this is the word for hunger. Then,
Yeah.
that's right.
Oh. Okay, so that's ne for hungry. I'm hungry. What's the next word? Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. Okay, here are some examples of what Priscilla says, oh, sounds like with babies.
This is the word he.
Okay, here's what sounds like.
Your stomach and go.
Oh, I know what that means. I know what that means.
Yeah, you know what that is.
That means. Okay, listen to these babies. That means.
The next one is eh.
And that means I want to burp.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, the first word is ne.
Okay. Isn't it amazing? Oh, did you actually feel the difference? Next time you see the little baby crying, try to understand, okay? I thought it was amazing. And I was editing it, and I heard that their baby crying thing multiple times. In the end, I felt like they all sound the same to me. But I thought this was fascinating. You know why? And the baby side, look at these babies. They're crying, but feeling like you gotta listen to my crying. They dare to cry. You gotta know, you gotta feel my feeling right now. That. Isn't it awesome? You know, they don't really think about, am I really qualified to cry? They don't think about I don't know, the relationship. I have this lady called herself mom. Are we really in a good relationship right now? They go if I cry right now, does it really look good to other babies around me? Wait, is it gonna hurt my reputation as a baby reputation? They don't think about it. What do? They just cry. They're like, you gotta know how I feel now. I'm not gonna hide my feeling. You gotta know. I like that audacity. On the mother side, you know what's happening here? Mother wants to know in every way possible. Mother wants to know what's really going on in the baby's heart, in their little baby's body. You know why this is happening? Because there's loving relationship. I think our Christian life is like this. Some people come to me and say, Pastor Sonny, I want to live a holier life. I want to, do more things for church and all that. Awesome. But I think this is what Christian life is really like. We cry out to Him. Jesus, I want you to know what I'm going through right now. Jesus, I'm not going to hide what I'm going through right now to you. Jesus, you need to know, you ought to know, you got to see what I'm going through, the hearts I am having right now. I want you to see it now. Because I know you're compassionate. And Jesus said, yes, I do want to know. Because I am your Jesus. I have this compassionate heart for you. How can we believe this? Funeral is happening right now. One and only son of this widow. She's losing it. Very sad. And probably anything happening in your life can be really sad, can be really terrifying. But compared to this, must be nothing. But our God experienced His own funeral, losing His one and only son. That's what we actually celebrate as Christians. We gather, we celebrate that funeral. We remember that God, you lost your one and only son to complete your love for us, to prove that love for us. If that love is real, if that funeral of yours is real, I'll come to you. I'll come to you and I'll open up. And I'll seek for your compassionate heart that's been always there faithfully. Let's pray. As we pray, I want you to just open up your heart. Maybe there are things, some things happening in your life, in your heart, you don't really want to show other people. It can be fear, can be sadness. I don't know. Maybe you don't really want to show that to others. But Jesus is asking you right now, what's going on in you? You don't have to hide it. Because my heart, my love for you is not conditional. It's a heart of compassion. The more broken you are, the stronger my love for you, the greater the grace that I have for you. So you can show your tears to me. You can show me your broken heart. You can show me your terrified life. That's okay. I am here for you. So come, speak to me. So I want you to just have a little conversation with Jesus. Say, I need you. Actually, I do need you. Let's pray.